सिलिकॉन वैली की चकाचौंध भरी दुनिया छोड़कर एक दूर दराज भारतीय गांव को अपनी कर्म भूमि बनाना, ये हैं जोहो के संस्थापक डॉक्टर श्रीधर वेम्बू, जिन्होंने साबित किया कि टेक्नोलॉजी का भविष्य शहरों से नहीं बल्कि हमारे गांव से तय होगा। उनका विजन है जिला आधारित विकास। वो भारत की युवा शक्ति और पॉपुलेशन डिविडेंड को स्किल डेवलपमेंट और स्वदेशी टेक्नोलॉजी से जोड़कर देश का आर्थिक नक्शा बदलना चाहते हैं। कैसे वो जोहो स्कूल ऑफ लर्निंग और कलेवानी कल्वी मयम जैसे अनूठे मॉडल से ग्रामीण बच्चों को वर्ल्ड क्लास टैलेंट बना रहे हैं, और क्यों भारतीय संस्कृति के मूल्यों पर आधारित उनका धार्मिक पूंजीवाद का विचार आज पूरी दुनिया के लिए जरूरी सबक है। जानिए ग्रामीण भारत के सशक्तिकरण और उज्जवल भविष्य की दिशा पर आधारित जोहो के संस्थापक डॉक्टर श्रीधर वेम्बू के साथ हमारी इस बेहद खास और प्रेरणादायक बातचीत में।
आप पॉपुलेशन डिविडेंड की बात करते हैं, आप जिस संदर्भ में पॉपुलेशन डिविडेंड की बात करते हैं, क्या है ये?
There is a lot of talent pouring out of our schools. See, in the last 30-40 years, definitely schooling has improved everywhere. We have now more kids going to school, finishing school, all that. But the primary challenge is jobs. And to create jobs, we need to create capabilities, skills. Once again, I believe only private sector can do this job well. Just like in R&D, skill development, private sector has to invest. And we have demonstrated that you can do this well in one district level. We are repeating it in 2 or 3 districts. We also want to take it to other districts in India. And this is something your readers may not be aware. In Balia district in UP in Karnai village, we actually have teamed up with Dr. Vijay Tiwari to support the DSET public school, and in Karnai village. We want to actually take the talent pool there and also direct it towards some productive investments there as well, including maybe software and manufacturing, all of that. We are thinking about those right now.
क्या यह रूरल टैलेंट पूल का आपका मॉडल स्केलेबल है? बाकी कंपनियों को इस क्षेत्र में क्या करना चाहिए?
It is very scalable in the sense, I'll give you the numbers. Our goal as our company to dedicate about 1% of our revenue to this initiative. We estimate if we can do that, we can support about 15 to 20,000 rural children in this program. We only have about 350, 400. In fact, by the end of this year, we'll expand it to about 1,000 children. By end of this year, or yes. But we want, with our current size, we want to go to 15,000. We are only one company. If many companies adopt this approach, we can serve actually millions of kids, particularly rural kids. And what is amazing is this talent pool we create, later they enter the workforce, the productivity will be higher. And I'll give this type of equation. We are taking a raw rural talent, which may not have opportunity, converting into world-class talent that promotes their income, the community income, and our GDP, national economy.
आपके जो दोनों एजुकेशन के प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं, जोहो स्कूल ऑफ लर्निंग एंड कलेवानी कल्वी मय्यम, ये जो मौजूदा रूरल एजुकेशन सिस्टम है, उसमें क्या नया ऐड कर रहे हैं? किस तरह उसमें पॉजिटिव अप्रोच को इंट्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं?
First, I'll come to what is Zoho School of Learning. That takes students who finished schooling, +2, and it's an alternative to college education. Even though it says Zoho School of Learning, it's really alternative to college. We provide these selected students a stipend. Majority of them come from local villages. Majority of them Tamil medium here. We take local language medium students, and within about 1 year, they become really good in software development. Or sometimes we also train them in design, and some of the students are trained in business, communication, marketing, all of that. They become quite good within about a year because the training is very experiential. We use the 3 words: experiential, contextual, and relevant. These 3 words are very critical to this. There are no examinations, there are no grades. You build projects. So you start building websites, then you start building games, then you start building databases. So like that, you keep on building and they learn. I strongly believe our entire technical education in this country should be reoriented towards building things. Today, our colleges, even engineering colleges, emphasize examinations and grades too much. That's not producing skills. And I believe we should reorient it towards building things. That's what engineering should be. That is the Zoho schools of learning. The Kalaivani Kalvi Mayam is a K-12 from kindergarten to plus 2. It has adopted the NIOS, the National Institute of Open Schooling curriculum, which is equivalent to NCRT. It's an equivalent to CBSE by the Act of Parliament. That curriculum is very interesting. Originally, it was intended for maybe people who want to homeschool their children. We have taken that and we are using it for rural children. And the way it benefits us is, one big benefit is, take for example the 10th class, we can make them pass over a 2 or 3 years rather than 1 year. So I can take 2 examinations now, only mathematics, maybe Tamil. Next year I'll take 2 more subjects. Next year I'll take 1 subject. Without failing any subject, they can pass. This is the speciality of the NIOS system. And meanwhile, maybe only 2 subjects they'll write, they'll be learning practical skills. So this way they get to spend more time. They may take longer to graduate, but they also have some skills now. They're more confident. And a lot of our children love this approach. And they can also, for example, we let them, because rural children, many of them coming from very poor backgrounds, they will say, their parents will say, 1 year I'm going to send him to work because we don't have any money, we have debts. So they may drop out for 1 year. We say, come back. We have had children who come back like that. They take 6 months off, 1 year off, come back. We admit again. Then they can take 1 exam next year. They have passed 2 exams, they take 1 exam. So there is no dropout now. They finish eventually. Even if they are 21, by the time they finish, they finish. That gives them later options in life. Yeah. Maybe they can later study something, right? This is the approach. This is why we love NIOS. Alongside it, we also are emphasizing the skill development, workshops, all of that. You can see it, the workshops running. These are also important. For example, we like to say 10th or 12th class student should be able to, understand their scooter, motorcycle, all of that, fans, all of that. So that they are not afraid of technology. It's not just computer and software, but even things like fans, motorcycles, refrigerator, the technologies inside they must understand. That's something we emphasize, very hands-on.
रूरल टेक्नोलॉजिकल सर्विसेज जो जिस तरह से आप प्रमोट कर रहे हैं, क्या ये इंडियन इकोनॉमी का नक्शा बदल सकता है?
I can talk about this district, Tenkasi district. We did a survey about a year and a half ago, economic survey. We found that in the last 6-7 years, after our activity expanded here in a big way, the income for people who are not in technology, people who are shopkeepers, people who are auto rickshaw drivers, their incomes have gone up substantially. Now they get more customers. There is more money flow within the area. More people are spending money, therefore more shops are coming up, better shops are coming up, all of that. So these are all creating jobs outside of even the Zoho ecosystem. So the overall economic impact within one region is already measurable. We have to repeat this across all our districts. So this is why I call our approach as district-driven development as opposed to Delhi-driven development.
आप चाहते हैं कि जो भारत के गांव हैं वो टेक्नोलॉजिकल रिवॉल्यूशन का सेंटर बने. जो हमारा अभी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का लेवल है, क्या ये सपोर्ट करता है?
Yes. So in this village, it's narrow roads, but still the roads are now there. 15-20 years ago, these were mud roads, only mud, dirt road. Now we have proper asphalt road. So in some places it's poor, but mostly it has gotten better. Most critically, the electricity is good. Mostly electricity is available. Broadband connection is available. So we get 250 megabit per second broadband connection. So we have engineers, about 35 engineers working here in this remote place, producing some innovative products in the electromechanical area. This was not possible even 15 years ago. Now with all the broadband, all of that, it is possible to do the same work here that you are doing in Bangalore. And we have also assembled a team, so there is teamwork. nobody is alone. There's about 30-40 people who are working together in this remote village.
जोहो स्कूल ऑफ लर्निंग में आप इकोनॉमिकल वीकर सेक्शंस के बच्चों को प्रोग्रामिंग के मॉडल्स सिखा रहे हैं, उन्हें एक नई स्किल्स को इंट्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं। बाकी जो इंडस्ट्रीज हैं उनमें हम इस मॉडल को कैसे फॉलो कर सकते हैं?
Every industry, ultimately they can train the skills they need, in my opinion, about 1 year after school. That is sufficient for most industry to teach the skills relevant to their industry. Clearly that person will be an entry level staff, but then the continuous learning happens on the job. This is true in any profession. For example, you don't become immediately a very good top lawyer. You become as an apprentice lawyer, a junior lawyer, and then you become a senior lawyer. Same thing with accountants, same thing with journalists. So 1 year is the base, and then they can enter the profession at the junior level, and then they learn step by step. We have now more than nearly about 2,000 examples of this process spread out over many years, last 2 decades. So we are very confident in this approach to learning now.
रूरल एरियाज़ में आपने मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इकोसिस्टम की भी बात की है, तो कैसे कोऑर्डिनेट कर सकते हैं रूरल इकोनॉमी प्लस टेक्निक?
So first we need this. In this we can learn from the early days of China's economic reforms. When you go back to, I have studied a lot of Chinese history. In 1980, 81, 82, China's economic reform primarily consisted of rural, what they call town and village enterprise, where they started small scale manufacturing, household goods, from ceiling fans to all of these, manufactured in rural areas. Today that can be done even more effectively because the machinery available is available very cheaply, often from China itself. So my recommendation is we import the technology needed for production, set up manufacturing facilities, train our workforce. So we run a manufacturing enterprise called Karuvi, the power tools. Yes. Karuvi in Tamil means instrument.
We have seen this.
And that is to create the power tools. The manufacturing equipment will sometimes come from China. But later on we can have engineers working on the manufacturing, automation, all of that too. But the first goal is to produce the finished product using our own labor.
आपने आरटाई एक नया रिवॉल्यूशन इंट्रोड्यूस किया जो लो बैंडविड्थ में, लो एंड फोन्स में इफेक्टिवली चल सकता है. व्हाट इज आइडिया बिहाइंड इट?
So this technology, messaging, instant messaging,
it is Aratai.
Aratai.
Yeah.
Aratai. Aratai. Aratai in Tamil means
Gupshup.
chit chat, gupshup.
Yeah.
Chit chat.
Type of chopal.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Fun chat, fun
chat. Yeah.
chat. So not serious.
Yeah.
So we wanted to create the not serious image
Yes.
for that product, and
But product is serious.
product is serious.
Yeah.
But its purpose is fun chat
Yeah.
because youth,
Right.
and that is why we created the name. And now the name is resonating. People are learning, so it's
Yeah.
Aratai. People learning how to pronounce it. I think it will become popular. That's my feeling. And the reason is the technologies behind it, the voice calling, the video, low bandwidth optimization, scaling to say 50 crore, 100 crore type of users. That is very sophisticated. That is very serious. That requires a lot of research and development. The second reason is all of this data is what can enhance our language understanding capability. For example, maybe you speak in Hindi, I hear it in Tamil. Those capabilities can only be built if we have all of these people talking to each other. Then with their permission we say, okay, can we train an AI agent to translate you? The data is needed. Today, Bharat does not have that data. It is all collected by WhatsApp and everybody else. We need to maintain the data here. That is also the reason it's important. Because data is the new oil.
Yes.
We should not lose our data to foreign enterprises.
जब आप फॉरेन प्रोडक्ट लाते हैं तो आप एक तरह से एक कल्चरल इन्वेजन भी उसके साथ आता है और आप इंडियन कल्चर की, इंडियन ट्रेडिशन की बहुत ही स्ट्रांगली आप उसको फॉलो करते हैं. तो जोहो के पीछे ये भी एक फोर्स थी जोहो को इंट्रोड्यूस करने के लिए और इस रिमोट विलेज में आपने इसको शुरू किया.
I look at the essence of our culture with two words, humility and contentment.
Yes.
We are the nation, we are the civilization that has to teach the world contentment. That there is the saying of enough.
Yeah, Santoshi Sada
Santoshi, yes.
Sada Sukhi.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. This is important today because climate change. Maybe the human race is going to destroy itself through overconsumption. That comes from greed. Not just want, but greed. We want more and more and more, infinitely more. That, unfortunately, is today the trap of the materialistic civilizations all over the world, particularly in the West.
Yes.
And they even think more and more is better. There is no concept of that contentment. In traditional Western material civilization, the word contentment itself will have a negative meaning. That means that somehow you have lost the race of life. That's the idea. Only our civilization, our ancients, our rishis, they taught us all of this. Today we need to be technologically self-sufficient nation. At the same time, you have to practice a contented way of life. To me, that is only possible in our nation, and our nation has to be the teacher, the guru of the world to spread this message everywhere. So that is, to me, that's a civilizational task ahead of all of us.
मुझे लगता है कि ये जो आप जिसकी बात कर रहे हैं, ये टीचिंग आपको अपनी मदर के थ्रू मिली. आप मदर अर्थ की भी उतनी ही चिंता कर रहे हैं. कैसे इस दौर में जहाँ एक अंधी दौड़ है और एक तरफ टेक्नोलॉजी का प्रेशर है, दोनों में कैसे कोऑर्डिनेशन और समन्वय बन सकता है?
There is sustainable technology today. For example, today we look at water in this form. We have made a promise to ourselves and promise to Mother Earth. We will not rely on deep borewell technology. We will only use surface water for agriculture. That means that we are digging more ponds, we are retaining more water so that we don't have to dig deep borewell. And we have been successful so far. And we are digging more ponds so that when the rainy season comes, we store more water here. In fact, if we'll go back to our old traditional kings, they devoted about 10 to 15% of the land area to water. And that's why now our government, central government has the Jal Shakti mission. So the water is such an important, vital thing for life now. Conserving water, all of this requires technology now. Mapping out hydrological resources, even flooding in our cities, Bangalore or Delhi, all of that because we are taking away the natural water flows. That require technology to map. So we have to be both highly technology sophisticated but very nature connected. To me, it's also a source of jobs. For example, I believe personally, our manufacturing might be highly automated. But where will jobs go? Soil expert. See, I don't call them farmer. I say you are a soil expert.
Yes.
You are a water expert. You are a plant expert. You are an animal expert, cow expert. Then they get more dignity of labor and they get better pay. And that the pay, real pay, is coming from technology automation too.
आपने एक और वर्ड कॉइन किया है, धार्मिक कैपिटलिज्म. What is dharmic capitalism?
My mentor Gurumati ji, Sri Gurumati ji taught me. He defines Vaishya Dharma. There is a dharma of the Vyapar.
Yes.
And he says capitalism, the Western capitalism is Vaishya Dharma minus the Dharma. You take out the Dharma part. So that's where the Dharmic capitalism, that's why we have to introduce Dharma into this. So that is Dharmic capitalism. What is the idea here? In fact, I give this example often. What is the purpose of wealth ultimately? Why should somebody become wealthy at all? To me, the core of our civilization is that the wealth is used to do good for the common public. And
Good for the society.
Society.
Yeah.
And they are endowed by kings, merchants, all of that. And if you look at temples, you look at Chatram, we call it the Chowdhury. All of those were endowed by pilgrimage centers and food distribution centers. All of this, the Kalyan Mandapams, all of that were endowed hospitals. These were all endowed by wealthy people. And of course, educational institutions are a large scale. I myself studied, I'll give you in Chennai example. I studied in a school, my 10th and 12th class, I finished in a school called Jai Gopal Garodia National Higher Secondary School. Mr. Jayagopal Garodia
Is from
is a
Rajasthan?
business, yes, Rajasthan.
Yeah. From Churu?
Yes.
Yeah.
But he was a very prominent businessman in Chennai.
Yes.
He supported a lot of schools with his wealth. I am a beneficiary of that. I benefited from his generosity. My school did not have buildings at all. We had only we had to sit on the floor kind of school. He endowed, and the buildings, all that came up because of his the philanthropic effort he made, and I benefited from it as a young kid. So it is my duty to support with our wealth a lot of such kids. So that is to me Dharmic capitalism. So Jayagopal Garodia ji was a Dharmic capitalist. To me, he has given me a role model to emulate.
कल्चरल रिवाइवल की बात करते हैं आप. कल्चरल रिवाइवल विद टेक्निक और विद टेक्नोलॉजी. इज इट पॉसिबल? इस दौर में क्या संभव है ये?
Yes. See, we are a civilization that puts everything to good use. And any tool can be used for good or bad. Software is a tool, computer is a tool. And the civilizational values dictate how we use it. To me, I am confident in the roots of our civilization that we will put it for good use. Just this morning, a priest in a temple called me from Kanchipuram. He called me and said, he is 73-year-old. He told me, I have an idea for you. He said, you are good with software. Please produce a game for young children where they play game and they learn our
Indian culture,
Indian culture,
yes.
all of that through games.
Yeah.
He suggested some ideas. You recite this shloka, then that door will open, they can play more game. Like that. He gave me some ideas like
बहुत
that.
अच्छा idea है.
Yes. This is an intelligent use of technology.
Yes.
We are a civilization that has always used it. I mean, take Carnatic music.
Yes.
We use instruments like the violin, all of this, even the saxophone. We put it to very good use. When you hear the saxophone Carnatic music, it is as though it is intended for Carnatic music. So we are a country that is able to absorb all the influence and produce some better result with it. So I am confident we will use all this technology to produce something that is a world precious asset. But we can apply technology for good cause. That's why those of us in technology have to dedicate ourselves to these problems too.
आपने जोहो में जहाँ निवेश किया है तो मैनुअल स्कैवेंजिंग के आपने वो किया है. इट्स अ ग्रेट कॉज.
Gen robotics.
Yeah, Gen robotics. Yes. It's a great cause. इसका इंस्पिरेशन आपको कहाँ से मिला?
Yeah. It is a Gen robotics team that did this. We are investors, so I should not claim credit. Those engineers working hard there, those founders, they deserve the credit. And the inspiration really is that nationwide this is a scourge. Human beings should not have to do this. It is dangerous too. Every month, every 2 months, we read news of somebody getting killed because of this. So this is a mission for them to solve the problem. I'm glad to say they have now hundreds of installations. It's spreading all over the nation. It's a very strong team. They are also the same kind of technology they're applying for other uses now, including for defense purposes.
एक ग्रामीण उद्यमी यानी रूरल एंटरप्रेन्योर के तौर पर ग्रामीण अर्थव्यवस्था की मजबूती के लिए आपका मॉडल बेहतरीन है. ये बेसिक आइडिया आपको कब आया कि मुझे ये करना चाहिए, जिसने आपको सिलिकॉन वैली छोड़ने और इस रिमोट विलेज में आने के लिए इंस्पायर किया?
I love living here. That's my foundation is, this is my life. This is where I want to be. So this morning you saw the traffic jam with buffaloes, and because of the harvest season there were tractors going around. That's a good traffic jam. Right? In fact, often when I go to the village, sometimes I have to wait because there's a big buffalo herd crossing. I'll wait 1 minute and watch the scenery 2 minutes, enjoy it and then go. That's a good traffic jam. In fact, I take my electric auto and go for a ride and I enjoy all the scenery. This is a good life, sir. This is a very good life. I want to preserve these areas. I want to make them economically viable. Yes. The problem in these villages is jobs, alcohol addiction, and then the loan sharking, excessive interest rate, 5-6% a month, all that. The solution is economic development. Economic development while retaining our roots as a culture, as a civilization, and also preserving our nature so that we can all enjoy this. So that is my goal. And second is today food. See, food is medicine. What we eat is we become. And we have to pay, all of us, educated people, everyone has to pay attention. Where is the food coming from? Who's producing the food? How are they treated? If farmers are not treated well, we will not have good health. So that is another reason why I want to spread. Because rural areas, they produce our food. Are they treated well? Are they living well? That's an important question.
कैसे इस दौर में जहाँ एक अंधी दौड़ है और एक तरफ टेक्नोलॉजी का प्रेशर है, दोनों में कैसे कोऑर्डिनेशन और समन्वय बन सकता है?
There is sustainable technology today. For example, today we look at water in this form. We have made a promise to ourselves and promise to Mother Earth. We will not rely on deep borewell technology. We will only use surface water for agriculture. That means that we are digging more ponds, we are retaining more water so that we don't have to dig deep borewell. And we have been successful so far. And we are digging more ponds so that when the rainy season comes, we store more water here. In fact, if we'll go back to our old traditional kings, they devoted about 10 to 15% of the land area to water. And that's why now our government, central government has the Jal Shakti mission. So the water is such an important, vital thing for life now. Conserving water, all of this requires technology now. Mapping out hydrological resources, even flooding in our cities, Bangalore or Delhi, all of that because we are taking away the natural water flows. That require technology to map. So we have to be both highly technology sophisticated but very nature connected. To me, it's also a source of jobs. For example, I believe personally, our manufacturing might be highly automated. But where will jobs go? Soil expert. See, I don't call them farmer. I say you are a soil expert.
Yes.
You are a water expert. You are a plant expert. You are an animal expert, cow expert. Then they get more dignity of labor and they get better pay. And that the pay, real pay, is coming from technology automation too.
प्राइम मिनिस्टर लगभग रोज आत्मनिर्भर भारत की बात करते हैं, स्वदेशी की बात करते हैं. इस देश को जहाँ पे आप वापस इसका जो एक गौरवशाली दर्जा था वो दिलवाने के लिए भी एक अलग आप लड़ाई लड़ रहे हैं, अपने तरह से उसमें अपना एक कंट्रीब्यूशन दे रहे हैं. सिंगल वर्ड में आप या सिंगल सेंटेंस में डिफाइन करना चाहें तो हिंदुस्तान की सबसे बड़ी ताकत क्या है, हिंदुस्तान के लिए सबसे बड़े चैलेंजेस क्या हैं, हिंदुस्तान के लिए सबसे बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटीज क्या है?
If you look at our biggest opportunity is our youthful demographic, that dividend we talk, the passionate youth coming out. And at the same time, the challenge is how do we make good use of them for the national development. And this has to be again solved from, so my single word I say, bottom-up development, not top-down development. We have to think of development from bottom-up. That's why I say the village level to district level, district-driven development. That's the way I will summarize the whole vision. And I strongly believe it can be done. We can do this. The evidence is we are producing some very sophisticated technology from these remote places. People would not have thought it's possible. I am saying it is very much possible. It requires patience, the 5-10 year cycle, but it can be done. In fact, I want to show this from one place in UP. Demonstrate the same exact thing. Then I think it will spread nationwide.
Yeah.
So that's my mission.
हर आदमी, हर यंगस्टर श्रीधर वेम्बू नहीं बन सकता, लेकिन जो आपको फॉलो करना चाहता है, जो आपकी लीग पर चलना चाहता है, उसके लिए आपका क्या मैसेज है?
Stay committed to a long-term mission. Have a conviction, believe. Stay committed to your vision. On the execution, day to day, you can vary around. But your vision has to be unwavering. Then you will reach that goal.
थैंक यू.
Thank you.
बहुत आपका धन्यवाद, आपने समय दिया. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.
नमस्कार.
गांव जंक्शन को सभी सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स पर फॉलो करें. व्हाट्सएप चैनल और जीमेल आईडी पर भी संपर्क साध सकते हैं.